Proudly broadcasting from the Richard Philip Cavallaro Studio.
WRHU.
Hempstead.
You've discovered
A cornerstone of the Lawrence Herbert School of Communication.
WRHU.
Hello, screeners. We're back again.
You're listening to The Screening Room on 88.7 FM Radio Hofstra University.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Say hello to my new friend!
Join us as we talk about all things pop culture,
Hollywood news,
And entertainment.
Well, feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
screeners buckle up.
and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Screening Room on WRHU. I'm your host, Michael Albrecht, joined by my co-host, Abby Gibson. Also in studio is Donovan Ellis, Michael Ventries, and Tommy Saxa.
On today's show, we're discussing Gladiator 2, D23 Brazil, and all the latest entertainment news.
For more on our show, follow us on Instagram at Screening Room WRHU.
So, welcome to the show, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. And how about we start off the show with what we've been watching?
Been a while. We haven't done a show, so we have a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I'll start. I saw a little film called Megapolis, made by Francis Ford Coppola, a Hofstra alum recently. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it is a $120 million nightmare.
Jeez.
It didn't feel like a real movie when I started it, and by the end, it really just kind of blew me away. And it is a 1-star film, so I don't know who saw it here, but
I haven't watched it, but somebody wrote about it for the Chronicle, and I read that. Yeah, I fear it tracked.
I'm disappointed that it didn't do well, because, I'm a Francis Ford Coppola guy. I like his wine. No, I'm kidding. I don't drink wine. I don't know. It's like a passion project of his he's been working on since, the 80s.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I feel like it was a good cast, and I don't know. I'm disappointed that it didn't do that great.
Well, there are all these talented people on there, like Aubrey Plaza and Adam Driver, and they don't act like they normally do. It's like he directed them blind or something.
That's weird.
It's
so Aubrey Plaza
weird.
wasn't because Aubrey Plaza, at least from my head, is the same in everything she's in.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So she was not that. She wasn't April from
At one
Parks and Rec?
point, and this is when I was like, okay, she's not gonna be like she normally is. She's doing an interview, and she starts singing, and then it stops.
What?
Singing for a minute, and then it ends, and then there's 2 more musical numbers.
That's weird.
It's the weirdest movie.
That's really weird. Anybody else been watching anything good, Donovan?
Haven't been watching much stuff lately. Arcane is calling my name.
I've heard a lot about Arcane recently.
Arcane's great, yeah.
Well, yeah, season 2 I think is out, and I think the 3rd batch is about to come out in a couple days. The closest thing I've watched lately has been Dragon Ball Daima.
Okay.
I watched the first 3 episodes in English dub with a friend of mine last week. It was really fun.
How do you feel about English dubs for non-American films and TV shows?
It is the stupidest debate I've ever heard because I think dub and sub, you can watch both and get the same experience. I never understood the point of really this weird hate vitriol for English dubs when you have easy ways to consume both. And I also feel it's just very disrespectful to voice actors, because I've seen so many voice actors get, especially people of color voice actors, get dragged on social media just for providing good content.
Yeah. For because this is just interesting to me. For have you seen Squid Game or heard of it?
I've seen Squid Game.
Okay, because I don't really love watching subtitles. So what's your opinion on if I were to watch Squid Game, listening to the dub of the English dub instead of watching it in the Korean?
I watch Squid Game dubbed as well. I will say though that obviously, I think the big thing is obviously be comfortable in whatever way you want to consume media. I think you should at least do your good part to at least like watch or know about it, because like I feel like instead of blaming like say dubs or voice actors, for example, it should be more vocal direction and blaming more like translators too. Translating like stuff over different genres, I feel like is very like hard, and I feel like people don't understand that what you have to do to change stuff up.
Well, also I feel like it's much easier to watch something that's dubbed when it's in animation instead of live action, because we know how people talk usually and their lips never match up.
No, that's kind of funny, but some are really good. Moving on, Abby, you've been watching anything good recently?
I watched my first ever Marvel movie yesterday.
It's a miracle. Which
yeah,
one?
It was the Iron Man one, because I'm watching it in the order of release now with one of my friends.
Good.
Because it was a whole debate, because it was me, Jamie, and Angelica. And so Jamie's point of view was you need to watch it in like chronological order. Angelica's
chronological, like
as in like in the timeline of the story.
That's stupid.
That's gonna take a while to like figure out.
Yeah, and so I was like, and Angelica's was like watching it in release, and I wanted to do it in release because I was like, I want to see
Angelica's correct.
Yeah, well, I wanted to see it as if I'm like actually following along with this, as if I was a fan in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Abby. That's awesome. God bless Jamie and Angelica for introducing you to Marvel. I hope you continue. All right. Well, I should say what I was been watching. Totally forgot about that. I forgot about myself. How could I? What have I been watching? I watched a movie recently. I forgot what movie it was. I guess it wasn't important. I don't know.
Pull up the Letterboxd.
I don't think I recorded it on Letterboxd.
Oh.
Oh my God. I missed a class because of HVL. And when I came back, they were like, yeah, we watched Carrie last week. And I was like, oh, we watched Carrie. That's a great movie, and I missed it. So I was upset about that. Anyway, all right, well, enough about that. I'm so glad we all have been watching some really great stuff. Now we're going to shift things over to our first discussion of the day. Last week, Disney held its D23 Brazil event. The event was a massive showcase of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars updates, revealing exciting sneak peeks, new footage, and major announcements that have left fans around the globe buzzing with excitement. From the first look at the upcoming Fantastic Four to teases for the future of Marvel Cinematic Universe, D23 Brazil has given us plenty to talk about. So, what were our favorite reveals from D23 Brazil?
So the main thing I kind of came away from this was like of the whole slate of the stuff that they released, one of them was original.
That is funny. Do you want to talk about that, Tommy?
Yeah, a little bit. So obviously Disney's been, kind of in a slump of like remakes, sequels. They have Mufasa. So with their releases right now, I think it's like Mufasa and they have another one, right?
Moana 2.
Moana 2, thank you.
Moana 2, which we are going to talk about later in the show.
Oh, I should stop that. Okay.
And, well, no, we can talk about it now, but because it's literally just, hey, it's coming out. I forgot it was coming out until I did research for this show.
It's gotten like no marketing.
That's why I forgot it was coming out.
Yeah.
No, like it's like it got like a month maybe of trailers, and that's it.
I was like, I forgot about this movie.
It's a sequel to one of their most like successful movies.
That's why it's weird that it hasn't like, I don't know.
What's even weirder is that I remember hearing a couple months ago that like Moana 2 was originally going to just be a Disney Plus like series of Moana.
Really?
Like, yeah, and then afterwards it got like stitched together to make like Moana 2. That's what I heard.
Donovan. All right, we're going to do a quick little Disney history because I can't help myself. Does anybody know the last time Disney sequel was originally a series and then they just stitched together the episodes to make a movie?
Oh.
It's an awful movie.
Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas?
No, but that's a funny guess.
Thank you.
Man, there are a lot of these. Tarzan? I know Tarzan had a sequel.
Abby, you have a guess?
I got no clue.
All right.
Santa Claus 2?
No, that's also fun. I like Santa Claus too.
Me too.
I'm just gonna
yeah.
say.
It's underrated.
It is a very underrated movie. No, it is the sequel to Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
Oh my god.
Oh no, I remember that.
Awful movie.
Right.
It is so bad because it's literally like the episodes, because is serialized. So it's just like different thing each episode. So it's like 3 little movies in one hour and a half movie. It is so bad.
Is it like an anthology?
It's like
No,
It's like
Oh,
just
it's a full like serialized movie.
it is like, hey, we found Atlantis. That's cool. So we're gonna go and we're gonna make like a team and we're gonna
I'm
we're
watching
gonna
this.
just do random stuff. And it's like, oh, there's a dust devil and we're gonna fight a dust devil, and it's just weird. It's an awful movie. Donovan, now knowing that, I'm a little scared for Moana too.
I mean I was too, especially because like Moana I felt like was such a powerful movie.
It's an amazing movie. You're
it's an
absolutely
amazing
right.
movie, and also too the fact that I was also concerned about it because I know we're having Moana 2, and I also knew we were having a Moana like live action reboot.
Yeah.
I heard about like last year, and I'm just like, it hasn't even been a decade. Like what nostalgia are you gonna like kind of mine
Yeah.
for this?
It's I'm a little nervous for the live action Moana, honestly, just because you're right. It was 2016. It's not even 2026. Like,
That leads into my theory. If Mufasa and Moana 2 do really well, because we know how well Inside Out 2 did, which was great, by the way, I'm not like knocking that, all we're going to get is sequels and remakes for
I don't
like
want that.
20 years.
Okay.
Well, we're still in the sequels and remakes, so it would just be adding on.
No.
well, that's kind
So
of what
how
you were
many
saying.
years?
So what was the one original idea from D23 Brazil?
Elio.
Elio.
Oh, I heard about that.
Which, like, cool idea, I guess, but they already had a space movie like 3 years ago that nobody
Yeah.
saw. Strange World.
Strange World.
I heard Strange World was good. It was just the fact that like it was marketed really badly
God.
That
by
too.
like, the previous
So,
president.
I saw Strange World for the first time this summer on a road trip. And my review of it was, it's okay. I feel like they could have done so much better. Like, there's a lot of good there, but I don't think it was executed the right way. So, yeah. And I also think the marketing, Disney hasn't been on their marketing A game.
Oh, no, they're
No.
terrible with marketing now.
Disney, hire Hannah Greenberg to do your marketing.
Literally.
For those of you who don't know, Hannah used to be a producer on the show. We love her. She's awesome. Anyway, yeah, Tommy, anything else you have to say about Elio?
Oh, okay. So, again, I think maybe this speaks a lot to their marketing because I know nothing about it. And it's coming out in like 2 months. And I have kind of like spontaneously look at Disney. So, like, I don't
It's
know.
coming out in 2 months.
It's coming out
months? I
pretty
didn't even know
soon.
that.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Disney.
I thought it came out like next, like, well, I guess I would put it next year, but like I thought it came out like spring
Guys,
or summer of next year.
Listen, I'm sorry for you guys, but I am eating popcorn, enjoying the downfall of Disney right now. Like,
No, I want to work for Disney. If you're listening, I know you're not, but if you're listening, I want to work for you. So I don't want to see your downfall. I want you to pay me to do stuff. Whatever you want to do, I can do anything.
God, I hope Captain America: Brave New World fails.
I think it's going to be really good.
I will say the trailers are awesome.
Dude, I think it's going to be like not Civil War. I think it's going to be like Winter Soldier.
Dude, it looks like a serious spy thriller. If
Yeah.
they slapped an R rating on it or something, it could be like a genuinely really good time.
I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited. Like, I think out of any Disney project, I am most excited for Winter Soldier. And we got not Winter Soldier.
Brave New World.
Brave New World.
Yeah, that's all that happens.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I think we got some new footage for that as well. Oh, we got a new trailer?
We got a trailer. It shows more of Red Hulk, I think, like a full frontal angle.
It's fun seeing Harrison Ford's face on Red Hulk.
By the way, he still denies it. When he's asked the question, he's like, I don't know who Red Hulk is.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I just want to know how they got Harrison Ford. Like, just
They have unlimited money.
They do.
be fair.
Harrison Ford, I don't know. Harrison Ford is one of the most interesting people in the world. Just because, first of all, he's interesting, but he hates the thing he's most famous for. Like, arguably Han Solo, and he just hates being Han Solo. He's hated it since 1977, being Han Solo. He wanted him to be killed. And George Lucas convinced him, how about we just freeze you in carbonite? And then if we can convince you to come back, you'll come back. That's how episode 5, that's how we got the ending of episode 5. Yeah, I mean, he loved Indiana Jones. I guess he really wanted to be in a Marvel movie. I don't
Well, it's funny because, like, he, you know, that's kind of like his biggest role. That's kind of what he's known for. But then he's also quoted as saying, like, I hope George Lucas burns alive. Like,
he's so weird, but I love him. I really do love him.
He's one of the most charismatic actors, though.
He is,
yeah,
but I don't know. And we also got a better trailer, I would say, for Thunderbolts, right?
They're improving.
They're improving. I'm excited for Thunderbolts. I'm a little hesitant, but I'm excited. I think I understand the plot more.
Yeah, they actually revealed, I would say, a little too much in the
Maybe. I don't think so. Potential spoilers, but that blonde-haired kid, Ben, I think they said his name was, is supposed to be Sentry. So if anybody knows anything about Sentry in Marvel Comics, yeah.
I do. Sentry's, I think, whole gimmick, if I remember correctly, was that he was I don't read up on the character like that much, but essentially he was like a nobody, like junkie who got his hands on a super soldier serum, except this one was like 1,000 times more powerful than the one they gave Cap.
Yeah.
And they injected it. So the Sentry is like a superhero alter ego, except the problem is that he has a split personality called the Void, which is like super evil and will destroy the world. So that's why no one's really ever heard of him, because I think Sentry like removed his memories of everyone.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering, like, you want them to fight the Thunderbolts?
Well, I think it's like a
I don't know if they're gonna
Suicide Squad 2016 angle.
Yeah, I think they're doing that. I don't know if it's going to be as good as Suicide Squad.
Well,
2021.
It's pretty easy to be.
Well,
better than
2021.
Suicide Squad
You're right.
2016.
It's going to be easy to beat 2016.
Oh, so
I think
easy.
it's an R-rated movie, but I understand that it's not good. But we also got one last thing before we move on. Confirmation that the tower, pardon me, the tower in Thunderbolts that Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character has, Valentina, I think her name is.
Yeah.
That tower is Avengers Tower. And she's the one who bought it from Stark.
Okay.
Or from, I guess, Happy.
This is life-changing news.
So I think that's interesting.
Also funny.
Yeah.
Man.
But, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of exciting things that are coming from Disney with D23. So now we're going to hand it over to our very own Tommy Saxa to catch us up on some of the latest stories with our first news break.
Dwayne Johnson's Christmas film, Red One, has released into theaters to a $30 million opening on a $200 million budget. Fans speculate that this is attributed to its underwhelming marketing campaign. Personally, I wouldn't recommend releasing a Christmas blockbuster before Thanksgiving. Good news for Scott Pilgrim fans, as the duo of Michael Cera and Edgar Wright reunite for a remake of the 1987 satirical film, The Running Man. The film is set for a November release in 2025, with Glenn Powell set to star. The host of the 2025 Oscars has been announced as legendary comedian, writer, and late-night talk show host Conan O'Brien, taking the spot away from Jimmy Kimmel, longtime Oscar host. This change will no doubt lead to a more entertaining showcase, as Conan is renowned for his sharp humor and hosting ability. And that's all for Newsbreak. Thank you for tuning in.
All right. Thank you very much, Tommy. All right. Thank you. We are now going to move on to our main discussion of the day, Gladiator 2. The highly anticipated sequel to Ridley Scott's 2000 epic is set to hit U.S. theaters on November 22nd, 2024. It is starring Paul Mescal as Lucius Verus. The film includes Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal. Critics have praised its visual spectacle and powerful performances, particularly Mescal's portrayal of Lucius. However, some reviews note a lack of emotional depth compared to the original. The film has also sparked controversy over historical accuracy and representations. Historians have criticized the depiction of the Colosseum being flooded and filled with sharks. Spoilers. Additionally, Denzel Washington revealed that a same-sex kiss he filmed was cut from the final version, which has sparked discussions about LGBT representation in mainstream cinema. Furthermore, Washington's decision to use his natural American accent for his role as Macrinus, a former North African slave, has been a point of contention, with critics arguing it detracts from the film's authenticity. So with all that said, how do we feel about Gladiator 2 in general, but also the controversy surrounding it?
I'm just happy that we got like a mainstream Ridley Scott blockbuster in the year of our Lord 2024. I'm glad he got like one fun, because he's been kind of on a rough patch with like Napoleon and whatnot. But I'm glad we're getting like a new blockbuster from him.
Nice.
More Denzel Washington is not really like a downer for me personally. So the only problem is I haven't seen the first like Gladiator, so I'm gonna have to watch that and then maybe this one.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. What about you, Abby?
I'm not really in the film world. Obviously, I'm more into like the music and stuff. But
Yeah.
I feel like just from what I've heard, it's just difficult to see something like, because I think there is within movies a fine line between making sure it's all like historically accurate, but then also trying to make it more entertaining for viewers.
Yeah, right.
Because obviously there are people who are like, oh, like, I love history. I want to see a movie that's like word for word, like what the history is about it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's like directors who are like, well, I want to add something that's going to make it like where people are going to flock to theaters. But I think it's a fine line. And I don't know if this is going to cross it or not.
It absolutely is a fine line. For me, it just seems kind of gimmicky.
Yeah.
Like, the sharks, like...
I mean...
Gladiator is supposed to be a serious movie. Gladiator, the first Gladiator, is maybe one of the best films of all time. Definitely in the top 50
when did it
or 100.
come out? The
2000.
Okay.
Because
I'm thinking of the 300 movie, actually.
You are thinking.
Yeah. But
you're thinking of like that Spartan
exactly.
movie. That's a different. That's Greece. This is Rome.
Yeah.
Italy.
But like, I mean, if we knew that the Colosseum had water in it at like one point, like, go right ahead, but just make sure that it's the right time period of the movie. Like, you could probably even use like chat, like GPT, like just to check, like, was ever like water in the Colosseum?
Well, like, again, I'm not a historian or anything, but like, I'm fairly sure that water existed in this era.
Yeah. Really? No way.
What's
your evidence?
That caught me off guard.
Again, purely baseless accusation. I think I'm just guessing from fossils. But like, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that water existed. So I don't think it's too.
I think so.
But that's a fossil.
And like,
that
there's
sounds
nothing
right.
saying you can't fill a Colosseum with water. Like,
I mean, was the Roman
they
Empire?
did have the aqueduct then, so
Yeah.
I guess you could. I don't know how you would get sharks in there. I don't know. It just seems like something
A giant
like.
tank,
I mean,
of
but is it
course.
cool?
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be cool, but it just seems like something gimmicky, like they would do in like a 70s James Bond film.
But is it cool?
I mean, I could have sworn like that two things. One, that the Coliseum did sometimes like have like like water games or something like that.
It's possible. I don't know.
It's possible, but also too, like, I also heard that the Gladiator movies have never been, well, the first Gladiator movie is not made to be the most historically accurate movie.
No movie based off of history is
Yeah.
going to be 100% historically accurate.
Other than like Saving Private Ryan.
Even then, Private Ryan wasn't a real person.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
So,
fun fact: there's actually an airplane very visible in Gladiator, the first one.
Really?
is there really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
it's a shot of Maximus, and like in the sky, you can just clearly see an airplane.
Wow.
Like a
Great job, you guys didn't
like a jet.
map
it's
that out.
It's
Or
that.
like-
It's like that iteration of the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Oh, I thought it was in Harry Potter.
No, it was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Harry Potter, probably that's one of those stuff, but
Yeah. Starbucks cup in Game of
you know,
Thrones.
in anything you're gonna have mistakes, and
Yeah.
I always say if I make a mistake, okay, first mistake's done, we're not making any more mistakes. You get
Yeah.
one a show,
Yeah.
and then when you make a second one, you beat yourself up. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Don't beat yourself up.
You could try, but
You can try.
let's not.
I don't know. How do we feel about some of the other controversies, like with the accent and like the LGBT stuff that's going on?
I mean, I think that's like a balance, honestly. Like, obviously, you can't have everything, and maybe ancient Rome was more diverse than we thought.
Well,
Maybe
a lot of it in fiction, we're allowed to do this. Take liberties over, especially if you want a certain actor to do something.
Right.
Take liberties with, race and sex and
Yeah.
whatever. For not even representation, just because you want certain actors. Bridgerton does it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It has nothing to do with being historically accurate. It's just we're trying to tell a good story. For me, I kind of see both things. You needed to cut something for time,
Right.
but it also is like this was in the script.
Yeah.
So you wanted this very deliberately in the film.
Yeah.
So why are you cutting this if you did it deliberately?
Right.
So like maybe it wasn't too necessary to the story, but now I'm kind of scared that we're gonna miss something, or like they're building to something and they cut this out, and we're not gonna get a resolution.
Yeah.
Or some kind of like catharsis. Big storytelling word. So I don't know. I see kind of both, but it sucks from this was maybe a storyline that they were gonna do, and they might have left pieces in it, and it's just gonna be kind of like a weird narrative thread that's left.
Yeah.
And also from like the representation point of view, that also stinks.
Yeah.
And then with the accent, anybody have any opinions about that?
It doesn't really change much.
No,
to me.
it doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Like genuinely, it doesn't really matter.
Even doing research, a lot of things were like, I mean, it doesn't, like people were like, this is a controversy, we're mad. And then like some people in the industry were like, I mean, he's an actor. You kind of just let actors do whatever they want.
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
really do anything to the story. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter.
I don't think that Joaquin Phoenix had an accent in the first one even. Like I think he was just his normal voice and he was great. Like,
No, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, with like accents, like I'm always like baffled when like a British guy like sounds American, and then during his award show, like he's just like full on like British accent like that, like it's like amazing. Like it's whack.
Real quick before we move on,
Yeah.
what baffles me is when British people sing and they sound American.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
God,
Yes.
yeah.
Like,
oh, it was so
I've
weird.
had that experience.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman is one of them. He's Australian.
Oh,
But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, when they sing, like Ed Sheeran is
Yeah.
British, right? He's from
He's
England.
Irish.
He's Irish.
Yeah.
That's right next door.
he's Irish.
He.
I mean, he's a ginger.
Okay.
No, sorry.
I don't know. There's just a bunch of artists who
I think he's British.
who like Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he speaks with a British accent, but like he sounds like he's from like New York.
No,
when
it's
he
almost
sings.
become like a catchphrase of mine to say like, wait, they're British?
Yeah.
You like never would find like I've seen a ton of actors who you see in like a movie or something and then they speak for the first time and you're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, they're British?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. But I'm, for one, excited to see what this movie has in store, even if it is a sequel. But now we're going to hand it back over to Tommy with another news break.
Alrighty. Okay.
People magazine has crowned this year's sexiest man alive as actor and director John Krasinski, of Office and Quiet Place fame, receiving this accolade to both fanfare and backlash. A24's new religious horror film Heretic is released into theaters this past week. The film stars Hugh Grant as he cruelly tests the faiths of two Mormon missionary girls that enter his home on a mission. This film promises to fascinate audiences with long discussions of faith and religion, while also being a classic horror story. Disney has removed a Rey-focused Star Wars spin-off from their slate of 2026 releases. This film would be replaced in the lineup with a new Ice Age film, as Disney are now owners of Blue Sky Animation. And that's all for today. Thank you for tuning into Newsbreak.
Did the new Ice Age film?
There will be a new Ice Age film. You know what's crazy? Two things. First of all, I wanted you to talk about that, and I forgot to tell you.
I'm always watching.
You are always watching, Tommy. But yeah, my dad and I were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Yeah. We're just like, we realized that Disney owns Ice Age, and we're like, they're gonna milk
They own everything.
Franchise. Because like we already have, in my opinion, too many Ice Age films.
You never have too many Ice Age films.
This, like,
Ice Age just had the weirdest sense of escalation ever, because like the first movie is literally just all about getting this little boy back to his family, and now by like the fourth movie, continental drift, where they're essentially like having continents split apart.
Yeah,
and then you
it's
also
weird.
and then you get the fifth movie.
I mean, that's what happened though.
And then the fifth movie, where Collision Course, I think, where they literally just saved the world from a meteorite, and I'm just like,
how do you do that?
I don't know,
That's aging
but
almost.
it's just weird, and I think Disney at some point is gonna like add Ice Age to Animal Kingdom.
well, didn't like the world of Ice Age canonically end? Aren't all of them dead? How are they gonna make a new one?
well, between Collision Course,
died?
They have a
continental
series
drift,
right
and global
now.
warming.
There's a series
There's
on
a-
Disney Plus.
There's
with-
Ice Age currently going on?
I don't know if the series is still going on, but Disney made a series that's on Disney Plus. It's about like, I don't know, the pirate ferrets, or I didn't watch it, but
That's so specific.
Oh, yes.
I remember those guys, yeah.
Yes.
Pirate things.
anyway,
Remember that.
thank you for the news break, Tommy.
NP.
Let's move on to our Hollywood discussion by talking about another animated movie franchise,
Oh boy.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh yes, I saw this.
Yeah, earlier this week,
Yesterday,
the
actually.
upcoming live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon, that's right, live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon, started generating buzz as the first images from the film were released. Slated for release on June 13th, 2025, this remake of the beloved 2010 animated film promises to reimagine the enchanting tale of Hiccup and Toothless. With Dean DeBlois, the original film's trilogy director, returning to helm the project, and a talented cast including Mason Thames as Hiccup and Nico Parker as Astrid, expectations are high. Recently, first looks at the characters have been unveiled. I can't speak today, I'm sorry everyone. Further amplifying anticipation among fans. So, what are our thoughts on this remake?
I think they should have had Timothy Chalamet as the Hiccup.
That's so funny.
Why?
No.
Why?
I just think it's
Why?
funny because
You mean Twinkub?
Sure, yeah.
I just think that's
That one on
funny.
this, I'm sorry.
I think that's just funny just because of just Timothy Chalamet. I don't know. I just think it's funny putting
like-
Timothy Chalamet in literally anything.
I think he could play good Hiccup.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess, but I would prefer if, like, I would have to do the ages for both, because I have to do the ages for both actors.
How old are they supposed to be in the film?
Well, Hiccup
16, I think.
Hiccup was like, I think, like 13, 16. Like, he's very young.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
because they're
that's
like like our age in like the second and third ones, right? Because
Yeah.
after he loses his foot, spoilers
So,
for
well,
a movie,
Oh my God, no
13
way.
years old.
So the second movie, if I remember correctly, the second
Michael,
movie.
I'm actually a little mad at you because I've never seen any of them.
Have you really?
Yeah, never.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
sorry, this is important, Tommy. Those movies are so good.
Yeah, no, so I've heard.
You have to watch it. That's your homework.
Yeah.
All right,
If you have
fine.
time,
There are
please
like
watch
3
the
of them,
trilogy.
Though. It's so long.
They're like an hour and a half. They're kids
Well,
movies, but they're
that's
really
like
good.
5 hours
They're
of-
really good.
All right.
I think my only thing is, like, I'm glad that they got basically a lot of the original. Like, it seems like they're putting care into it, but also like How to Train Your Dragon, I feel like it's one of those movies where even, well, I don't get the point of most live action remakes of animated movies, because I feel
Money.
like, well, yeah, money and nostalgia mining. That's essentially it.
Money.
Nostalgia mining.
The thing is, at least with Disney, like
Yeah.
they've been basically cannibalizing themselves over like sequels and remakes for
Yeah.
2 decades.
Star
DreamWorks,
Wars. Yeah.
DreamWorks hasn't done that yet.
No.
I think this is a rare, a rare modern age example of DreamWorks copying Disney again, because they kind of made their careers off copying Disney, but like
That's fair.
in a little more edgy format, like Shrek. But you love to see DreamWorks making live action movies again, because like they have How to Train Your Dragon and Kung Fu Panda, but they also have like Munich and Lincoln. And
I forgot they did those.
They have so many live action.
First of all, both Steven Spielberg movies.
Yeah. Oh
which
no,
is interesting.
not even that. They have Catch Me If You Can.
They have Catch
3.
Me If You Can? That's
Yeah.
3. I love Catch Me If You Can.
Which B2 is so good.
Catch Me If You Can. That was a movie. I was talking to Abby earlier about, before the show, about how my mission this semester has been getting people to watch Ted Lasso.
Mm-hmm.
And over the summer, I got my mom to watch Catch Me If You Can for the first time. I don't know how it was her first time watching Catch Me If You Can. But yeah, so she loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's a
of
great
course.
movie. If anybody hasn't seen Catch Me If You Can, you need to watch Catch
It was
Me
turned
If You
into a
Can.
musical too, right?
It was turned into a
Yeah.
musical. I'm not a big fan of doing that. There's rare exceptions.
There's some good ones, but I think it's a little lazy.
It
occasionally.
is
Like
very-
when there becomes like a Mrs. Doubtfire musical. Like, does there really need to be that?
I mean, I liked the cast for the Mrs. We're getting off topic, but I like the cast for the Mrs. Doubtfire musical. But I'm not a big fan of when people do that. Like I've heard good things about like the Back to the Future musical. I just don't like it when you do that. There's Beetlejuice is a
Dude,
good
there's
exception.
an American Psycho musical. Does there really need to be
No,
that?
there doesn't need to be.
Sorry.
There is.
I'm a big fan of the Beetlejuice musical.
Yeah.
I actually think it's better than the movie.
Low-key.
Hot
I
take.
had such a phase.
Which movie?
I think the Beetlejuice musical is better
remake
than
or the-
Beetlejuice the movie. The one from the 80s, the original.
Oh yes, there was.
I think it's better.
remakes.
And I've said this to my girlfriend before, and she thinks I'm crazy, but I think the story is better told in the musical than it is in the movie, because the movie, it's a cult classic,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's that great. I think it's a good movie. I just don't think it's that great, and I think Beetlejuice, the musical, does a better job of telling the story than the movie did.
It's showtime. Oh no, fuck.
But also, Alex Brightman is incredible.
Well, also,
Yes.
yeah, they
Yeah.
gave, because Beetlejuice has pretty limited screen time in the original.
Yeah,
So
that's
Yeah.
true.
they gave Alex Brightman, by the way, amazing. He was in like Has Been Hotel and like those.
He's
animated
so
stuff.
good at Has Been Hotel. He's really good in School of Rock, the
Yeah.
musical. He's one of my favorite people who've ever been on
They just
Broadway.
kind of like let him, go on stage.
But that's what you have to do, and that kind of goes back to Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
And I've taken like a directing class or two, and like you're kind of supposed to like nudge the actor a certain way and tell them like this is your character and these are like their circumstances and whatever. But you gotta give them space to do whatever they
absolutely, yeah.
need to or want to do with the character. And I love letting actors just do whatever they want, especially in like comedies.
Yeah.
Well, because
Yeah,
good
'cause it's
performances
so
are supposed
fun.
to feel natural
Yes.
and like a part of life.
Exactly.
So yeah, let them kind of make their own character.
Yeah, that's especially like when you get stale characters. That's bad acting. But and when it's a good actor who has stale acting, it's over directing.
Well, this is how you get Megalopolis.
Exactly.
Don't direct actors.
That's hilarious.
But that's how you also lead to characters like the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah.
Like you give a set
Yeah.
thing of notes, and then you like let an actor like interpret that how they want.
No, absolutely. Getting back on topic. I love this show.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not being sarcastic. I really do love love this show.
By the way, I'd also, real quick, I'd like to point out, among the DreamWorks movies such as Trolls and Kung Fu Panda, we also have Saving Private Ryan.
That's
actual
crazy.
DreamWorks movie.
Really?
Wouldn't it be really weird to have a Kung Fu Panda or Trolls live action?
I would.
I would want
If
to
we
know.
if we get Trolls live action is the most dystopian thing I've ever heard.
Well, I feel like Kung Fu Panda would be worse.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda would be
Like I feel like it'd be
worse.
kind of scary.
Yeah, but I kind of want to see how they do that. Like, it's just like how they did the new Lion King, like realistic
They
animals.
have to move more because like they weren't doing karate in The Lion King, but like they were full on doing karate in Kung Fu Panda. So
Kung
like
Fu.
it'd be so much more expensive. That was an expensive movie
Yeah,
to
no.
make.
Well, if I remember correctly, Kung Fu Panda was originally made to be similar to Shrek, like a parody
Yeah.
of like wushu, like
Yeah.
kung fu action flicks. Except they were like, "Hey, why don't we just really take it seriously?"
It's whatever. But fun fact: Chris Farley was supposed to be Shrek, and then he
I've actually
unfortunately passed
seen
away.
the Chris Farley tapes, It's not. It's good. Like it's not the character, but it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. But how do we feel about? Like, I don't know if it's necessary to have a How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Oh no, it's not.
It's not. I feel like it kind of ruins the legacy of the movies. I would rather have like a sequel or a prequel series.
Well, it's not necessary to make any remakes generally, even like the good ones, like The Thing. Yeah. But like, I think we should just see where it goes.
They made a Thing remake?
Yeah, 1982. The original is like from the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
And the remake is one of the best horror films ever made.
Yeah, I forgot they did that.
I mean,
I feel like I just watched something on that too. I totally forgot about that.
Well, they also made a remake of that one from 2011, which is really bad.
Oh, see, this is why you don't remake movies unless it's a really old movie.
Yeah. Oh,
like I want some remakes of old like silent films. Like I want a Metropolis remake.
They're getting that now. Nosferatu. We're getting that in December.
Yes, I know, and I'm excited about that. But like, there are some movies. I don't know, because I don't know. I think some movies remakes are hard when it's older movies because some movies like original like 1931 Dracula is an amazing movie and it's almost 100 years old. But like, it'd be nice to see a remake. But like, is it necessary?
Yeah, yesn't, because like. We have these movies that are kind of dated, and I think with modern technology, with modern like filmmaking grammar, I think it could be like useful to like reinterpret them for modern audiences.
I agree. In my opinion, like maybe it's because of the comic book nerd in me, but I'm fine with reboots, sequels, and reimagining so long as they kind of are remade in a way that has something to say. If you're just doing the exact same thing, then I don't really see the point.
I agree with that.
From like a creativity perspective. I think How to Train Your Dragon, for example, it's like I can't really see it as a reboot because not only did it's one of those franchises that grew up with its audience over time, so we're kind of just already stuck with that audience. And also too, How to Train Your Dragon's kind of a timeless story.
It is.
So like I don't really, and the animation holds up very well. So there's really no point. Like I can't think of any point of just remaking it in live action.
I mean, you're absolutely right, and I think there are some live action retellings of anime movies that kind of do change the story a little bit. I think a great example of that is the Aladdin remake.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things they did in that is they gave Jasmine something to do.
Yeah.
And she's a great character in the remake. But at the same time, are these movies necessary to make? And the answer really is no, because it's the same story most of the time.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also just too. I told one of my friends this as a writer too. But like, if you're going to add something, you have to make it. You also need to just justify its existence. Like you have to make it good. It's like
make it good.
Well, I know that's like kind of vague, but like Mulan, for example, like the whole point of the movie was the fact that she was treated to the equal to any man, and her outside the box thinking is what made her work. I feel like making the live action just giving her like superpowers with chi just kind of ruins the point, so to speak.
Also, Hollywood, by the way, has gotten way too trigger happy with remakes. I mean,
100%.
The Speak No Evil one that came out this year was made a full 2 years after the original, and that's a 2-year gap between original and remake.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah, no, we're just getting the same content like regurgitated out to us. I think as consumers, like we should.
What's the difference in that?
Ask for original content.
But like, what's the difference in that? Yeah. Yeah.
There really is no difference. But
exactly.
No. But moving on over to the Academy Awards, as Tommy was talking earlier, Conan O'Brien will be taking the stage as the host of the 97th Academy Awards. As the Oscars have faced criticism in recent years for lackluster hosting and dwindling ratings, many are wondering if Conan can help revive the event and bring back the glamour and fun of the award show. So, do we like Conan as the host for the Academy Awards?
My prayers have been answered.
He's all right.
Finally. He's the best late night talk show host of all time.
Yes.
I am tired of pretending he's not.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dude, I love
Isn't
Jimmy
he off
Fallon.
the air?
I do. I love Jimmy Fallon. He was my introduction to late night. But when I found Conan, man,
Oh,
I think
it's
it's
like
just
a- it's like a
Conan.
drug, yeah.
Conan is my sense of humor, and I used to like watch his remote segments like on repeat. Like,
Oh, they're so funny.
They're so good.
I really hope we get a Jordan Schlansky cameo at the Oscars.
I would love that.
If we do.
That would be like the best. When is the Oscars? 2020.
March, I think.
March. Okay,
March,
so 2025. That'd be like the best thing to happen in 2025.
Wow. Oh God, yeah.
Like, and I'm graduating in 2025, and that would be the best thing that happens in 2025.
To see him on in a big stage,
yeah.
I'd be so happy. No, like he's the sharpest late night comic. He has the best interactions with guests. Like he's just objectively the best. So I'm glad they finally woke up and kicked Jimmy Kimmel out.
I think it's also just time for somebody else to do it.
Because Kimmel's been doing it since like 2015. I remember he was the guy behind the La La Land Moonlight controversy.
Yeah.
Like, he was there for that.
I don't know. I kind of like, I just said it. I love Conan, and he's going to do something great with it.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff he did the Emmys maybe 10, 15 years ago, and it still stands as one of the best like Emmy intros of all time.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I wish he was still doing the show Conan really bad. His
He's doing a
podcast is good.
now. That's pretty good,
But,
yeah.
like,
He did an HBO show recently. That's pretty funny.
I love his HBO show.
Oh, it's great.
That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I love the Conan travels to different places, because it's just remotes, and I love that.
The interactions he gets with people too.
Exactly,
Like
it's so
strangers.
good.
Yeah, they're great.
So he's so good with just people.
Mm-hmm.
He has great people skills, and he is so funny. He's like he has my sense of humor, and I don't know. I love Conan. He's so funny, and I think he's a great host, and he will do really well.
Yeah, of course. If only they got Ricky Gervais to host.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Has he hosted a show before?
He hosted the Golden Globes, I think, when and it was the time he roasted all of Hollywood and kind of got kicked out. But that leads, put on your tinfoil hats, kids, because that leads to my conspiracy theory. I think Jimmy Kimmel got replaced as a host because he made that joke about RDJ's childhood at the Oscars.
RDJ.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Robert Downey Jr.
yeah.
Anybody else have any feelings about Conan?
I've only really, I don't really experience much late night TV or Conan, but I think it's a good choice to at least change things up.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Conan, I have massive respect for Conan mainly because of two things. One, he did an Archer skit, but also two, a couple years ago, but also two, if I remember correctly, he was one of the main people during the 2007 writer strike that was actually kind of trying to fight for the rights of his writing staff.
He started as a writer. He was a writer for Saturday Night Live in the
Simpsons
80s.
for a
Then he
while.
went to The Simpsons. So he started out as a writer. And then it was literally they were looking for a new host of late night when Jay Leno moved to The Tonight Show. And that's a whole nother thing, Conan and Jay Leno. We could have a whole show about just that.
I would love a block about that.
We could have a whole month's worth of screening room shows on the Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien stuff. We won't. But
Jay Leno is a cartoon supervillain.
I don't like Jay Leno.
No,
that's my unpopular opinion of the day.
He's not even a talented host.
He's just annoying. But I forgot what I was going to say. I'm so sorry. But Conan I think he's going to do great as a host. So unfortunately, our next piece of news is really sad. Earlier this month, the music industry lost a monumental figure in Quincy Jones, who passed away on November 3rd, 2024, at the age of 91. Jones's illustrious career spanned over 7 decades, during which he profoundly influenced jazz, pop, and film music. His collaborations with legends like Frank Sinatra and Michael Jackson, notably producing the iconic Thriller album, showcased his unparalleled versatility and vision. Beyond his musical achievements, Jones was a trailblazer, becoming the first African-American to hold several prominent positions in the industry, including serving as the musical director and conductor of the Academy Awards in 1971. His contributions earned him 28 Grammy Awards and numerous other accolades. Quincy Jones's enduring impact on music and culture will continue to inspire generations to come. Before we move on, does anybody have anything to say about Quincy Jones?
Sorry,
No.
it's just it's a hard loss, especially someone with such a legendary catalog. I remember he produced "We Are the World," I think.
I believe he did too. We Are the World's the original, not the one with Justin Bieber from 2011.
Forgot about that one.
Oh my God. And you know what's weird? I really think we're gonna get a new one soon.
Nice.
And I hate that. I forgot why. I was talking to somebody about that. I was like, I think we're going to get another We Are the World in a year or two.
I mean, it's not like there's not reasons to protest. Like,
no, there's always something happening in the world.
Yeah.
Which honestly stinks. Like, but even during the era of good feelings in America, there are things happening around the world.
Well,
we had like the French Revolution and stuff. But
they did that in like the 80s, right?
Era of Good Feelings?
No, We Are the World.
We Are the World? Yeah, that was the 80s.
Oh, they had
Era of Good Feelings was like 1850 or something.
Yeah. Oh. Jeez.
Anyway, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It sucks. He's a legend, and he's going to be very, very dearly missed.
Yeah. So there's always so many new things coming out to watch, and it's hard to keep track. So let's quickly go over the movies and TV shows coming soon with Tune In this week. Wicked is a musical fantasy film directed by John M. Chu, featuring Cynthia Erivo as Alphaba and Ariana Grande as Glinda. The cast includes Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero, Michelle Yeoh as Madame Morble, Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard, and Ethan Slater as Bop. The film explores the origins of Alphaba, a misunderstood young woman with green skin, and her complex friendship with Glinda, a popular and ambitious figure. Set in the land of Oz, the relationship is tested by differing personalities, shared romantic interests, and encounters with the wizard's corrupt regime, ultimately leading to Alphaba's transformation into the Wicked Witch of the West. Wicked Part 1 is scheduled to be released in theaters on November 22nd, 2024, with its sequel, Wicked Part 2, set to follow on November 21st, 2025. Moana 2, set to release on November 27, 2024, continues the adventures of Moana, voiced by Alui Cravolo, and the demigod Maui, voiced by Dwayne Johnson. The film introduces new characters, including Moana's little sister, Samea, voiced by Khaleesi Lambert-Suda, and features returning cast members such as Rachel House as Grandma Tala, Temuera Morrison as Chief Tui, and Nicole Scherzinger as Sina. In this sequel, Moana embarks on an expansive journey beyond the shores of Motunui, accompanied by Maui and a new crew of seafarers to explore the far seas of Oceania and navigate dangerous, long-lost waters. Dune Prophecy is an upcoming HBO series set 10,000 years before the events of Frank Herbert's original Dune novel. The narrative centers on the origins of the Bene Gesserit, a powerful matriarchal order focusing on sisters Valia and Tula Harkonnen as they navigate political and existential threats to establish this influential sect. The series features Emily Watson as Valia Harkonnen, Olivia Williams as Tula Harkonnen, and includes performances by Travis Fimmel, Mark Strong, and Sarah Sophie Busnina. Dune Prophecy is scheduled to premiere on HBO and Max on November 17, 2024. Interior Chinatown is an upcoming Hulu series set to premiere on November 19, 2024. The show follows Willis Wu, portrayed by Jimmy O. Yang, a background actor in a police procedural who aspires to break free from stereotypical roles and uncover his family's hidden history. The cast includes Chloe Bennett as Detective Lana Lee, Ronnie Chang as Fatty Choi, C. Ma as Joe Wu, and Lisa Gilroy as Sarah Green. Adapted from Charles Yu's award-winning novel, the series delves into themes of identity and representation within the Asian American community. Along with those new releases, new seasons of Night Court on NBC, The Sex Lives of College Girls on Max, and Outlander on Starz are also premiering this week.
Thank you, Abby. We have a lot of good, exciting things coming out this week. I'm excited for Wicked. Honestly, I think that's going to be a really good film.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Anybody have anything to say, real quick, about our new releases?
I can't believe we're getting another Dune.
It's a TV show.
Content. No, but like piece of content.
Piece of content
already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard some mixed things about it, just because it's been in anticipation, and the date I feel like has changed a bunch of times, and I feel like it's come out. It might have come out in other countries already.
Was it announced before or after the second one came out?
I think after.
Oh wow.
So they were. I think it was in production. I think it was in post production when they announced it, because I think they might have filmed it at the same. I don't know. I don't want to say things and then it just not be true.
Yeah. I don't think Denis
like
Villeneuve is attached though, because I think he just said like he's gonna do the first 2 and then he's like out. So it won't. It's not gonna have like Denis Villeneuve.
I didn't even know that. I hate that Denis Villeneuve isn't in it. I love him.
Oh God, he made those.
Dune,
movies
the first. I haven't seen the second one yet, and I hate myself for not seeing the second one yet. But the first one is so good. It's amazing.
By the way, Michael, watch the second one because it makes the first one look like just build up to the second one.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But real quick about The Wicked. I am both excited, but I'm also scared. I've said this before. I don't want new songs. I just want the songs from the musical. I think the cast is going to be good. There's been some controversy, but I think other than the controversy, I think it's going to be a good movie. And it's also a part 1, like we said. There is going to be a part 2 next year. I've heard it's going to end where the first act of the musical ends with Defying Gravity. And then the second half is going to be all of the stuff that builds up into Wizard of Oz.
So they're putting a lot of like new content in here, right?
Yeah, I think the first one is supposed to be more towards the musical, but then the second one's supposed to feature new music, I fear.
Which makes sense. There's always less music in Act 2s and musicals because it is very much like, okay, so we're going to do, we did the midpoint and now we have like the main culmination of, I'm getting really story technical here, but like, the low point, and then we have the resolution and the climax and like all that stuff. So it's whatever. Well, that's going to wrap up our show this week. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you all for being here with me and talking about movies and TV shows for an hour. Favorite time of the week. This has been The Screening Room on WRHU. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram at Screening Room WRHU to stay up to date. And be sure to tune in to our show every Sunday at 10 a.m. only here on 88.7 FM, Radio Hofstra University. But until then, be a goldfish. That's a Ted Lasso reference. I know some people are like, what are you talking about?
Nice one, yeah.
But be a goldfish, everyone. And have a great weekend.